People are cunts, man.
They are cunts.
The
The next one's not going to make you feel any better. If I had a piece of bread for every gender there was, I'd just have enough to make a sandwich. But you wouldn't catch me doing that because that's a woman's job.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Fucking hell. And also like, the fact he said that's a women's job. Like, you can't even write properly. You don't start a sentence with a conjunction, for one thing.
You're correcting his grammar.
Well, because the rest of the stupidity is self-evident.
It's all also that he titles the post "Feminist wants to know my location." No,
yeah,
no, they don't. They don't care about you and your stupid opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is like, it shows how uneducated the person is about the issue of gender and sex and all that things. It's that sort of thing, because there's like the scientific biological explanation and there's the social explanation, and there's also like, you have to have the awareness that society is in flux right now, and we have a new group that is more prominent than it used to be. It's always been there throughout history, but it's more prominent now, and you're just dismissing like all of these individuals' lives down to a fucking sandwich and saying that women should be making them.
Yeah, like there's a lot. You know what? I have to say though, it's two short sentences that packs a like fucking nut punch though. Like, kudos to getting your point across. So
true. He did it succinctly and concisely.
Yeah, he was economical in his words.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, it's taken the people a lot, many more sentences to get the same point across. So,
but that's what they do.
He took down women and anyone who identifies as any other gender other than their biological sex. So,
but he kind of like took them down. Like, he didn't really take them down.
No,
and then, like,
he
that's
insulted.
The thing. Yeah, he insulted people, and he did it in a very reductionist way.
Correct.
Which doesn't mean that you can discuss it and have a dialogue about it. And
no, I mean, it's predictable.
Yeah. He gets awards for predictability and ignorance.
And conciseness.
Yeah. And what I find really funny is that the people, like the guys like him, who are obsessed with two genders, two sexes, and the way that they feel attacked by the transgender ideology, they care more about transgender ideology than transgender people seem to do about heteronormative ideology.
Yeah, it's a weird obsession, right? Like, if it doesn't affect you, it doesn't affect your life.
Yeah.
And then why do you care so much, right? It's like anything. It's like people who are against abortion or against women's rights. Like, it doesn't impact you or your life. So let people be happy and let people identify in a way that makes them feel good and is right for them and feels right. Just like you do. No one's told you have to identify in a certain way. So just fucking live and let live, motherfucker.
Yeah. And like, I just think, like, if you, I mean, you know, it's our right to laugh at your stupidity here.
Correct.
And it's our right to disagree with you, but you can't even put like a proper case forward for why your side is correct. You're just insulting people.
No, and there never really is, right? It's like it's for all of it, right? Like the abortion debate, the whole COVID deniers or COVID vaccine, when it comes to genders and homosexuality, it all comes down to like, my source is, trust me, bro.
Yeah, it always is. Yeah.
It's a friend of a friend whose dog walkers knew a guy who lived next door to someone who got his mail delivered by somebody who took a bus once with
There's some bloke down the pub said it. And that's the thing is, like, there's all this stuff in the media, particularly from the right-wing media, that if you deny like that transgenderism exists and that, like, if you deny there's more than two genders and stuff, then you'll be shot down, you'll be vilified, you'll be pilloried, etc. And like, but I haven't had that happen to me, like, because people understand my point. Like, I don't need to accept your way of life to think that you deserve the right to exist in the way that you want to live, and that isn't for me to say what you do.
Regardless of what that is, right? Like, you're not
Yeah.
going to agree with the way everybody lives their life, regardless of it's
Exactly.
their hobbies, their habits, their whatever.
Yeah. I choose to judge
it's
people.
like going to someone's house and like redecorating it because you don't like the way they've decorated their own home. Doesn't fucking affect you. Leave the shit alone.
Exactly. Well, like, if somebody, like, if a bloke wants to identify as a woman and live as a woman, like, that's up to them, and I will support them to do that because they're not hurting me or taking my shit.
Which I don't like. Which is where I just don't get why people get so obsessed with other people's lives.
Yeah, it's so fucking toxic.
It's just weird.
Yeah, and then this is the other thing as well. Like, once you start engaging with people who identify as transgender or non-binary in some way, like, once you start interacting with them, watching their content, speaking with them and stuff, it's like, oh, they're human beings like me. They just want to work, pay their bills, look after their families.
Who knew?
Yeah. And maybe if these fucking ignorant cunts like this bloke start doing that, they might be less hateful for no reason.
And that's the thing. It's all a bit like fear and ignorance, because you don't know, so you make a lot of assumptions about what someone's life is like based on what someone else who's toxic has told you. And so if you just took the time, I know it's a fictional movie, but have you ever seen the movie American History X?
Yes, very good film. Yeah.
Okay, so for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's Edward Norton in probably one of his I think one of his best roles. It was hard to watch. He was so good in it. And he is like just racist down to his core.
Yeah.
Swastika tattoos. I think he goes to prison for, was it killing a black man, or was it just like a grievous assault?
I think he murdered him, but I think he got off on manslaughter because his brother didn't testify. Okay.
But then while he's in prison, he is working in the laundry with a black man. And so after a lot of effort on the part of his coworker, for lack of a better word, he starts to break down his racist ideologies, and he starts to realize that, like, oh shit, the only difference between us is the color of our skin, and there's nothing else. And then he gets a lot of shit for it when he gets back into his own world. But I think if any of these people were to take some time to actually get to know the people that they are railing against, then they may actually have a change of heart. Also, like that show, 30 Days, which is more recent.
I haven't seen that.
It's Morgan Spurlock. So he would take like a hardcore Christian, and she lived with an atheist family for 30 days. Okay. And there was a guy who was like super right-wing homophobe, lived with a gay couple for a month. So they spent 30 days there. And then every time these swaps have happened, it's the person who, the hardcore Christian, the hardcore homophobe, after the 30 days, they walk away with, yeah, you know what? They are just regular people. You're right. I get it. Right. It's never been the reverse where the gay couple's like, you're right. We're going to go to conversion therapy. It's never that. So if you take the time to actually get to know people and try to empathize a little bit, then there would be a lot less of this.
Well, that's the thing. Like what we found in the UK when people were voting for Brexit, like a lot of the rhetoric behind it was quite xenophobic, and some of it was downright racist. But the people who were voting for Brexit to happen were living in predominantly white areas, like the most whitest areas, basically up north. They voted for Brexit, and the people in more diverse areas, the white people that live there, voted to remain in Europe. And then that's because familiarity breeds acceptance. People try to say familiarity breeds contempt, and it fucking doesn't. It's the other way around. As soon as you get to know people on a personal level, you realize they're just like everyone else. Yeah.
It's like those racist people who say, like, no, I got a black friend.
Yeah.
So you were able to get to know one person. And didn't maybe realize that, hey, if this one person is a human being, maybe they all are.